Hey, my friends, how y'all doing? John back with some more Yes. A lot of suggestions for Yes. This is one of them. So I'm going to check it out. I really like the last two that I did. Roundabout was one of those. I think I've heard it, but I'm not quite sure back in the day, right? Anyway, Wondrous story, so I don't know, anything about it. Let's jump in. Wow, listen to that bass line. What a voice.
Sounded silence me, leaving no trace. I beg to leave to hear your wondrous stories. Beg to hear your wondrous stories. La la la.
Wow.
He spoke of lands not far, nor lands they were in his mind.
I gotta stop. Wow, that is insane, guys. I love that bass riff in here. It's just so melodic. How could anybody not like it? I'm like ashamed that I don't know Yes. I mean, I'm just thinking back in the 70s. I think as a youngster, I was more into what was on the radio. I remember being, 9 or 10 when Starland Vocal Band came out with Afternoon Delight, and it was my favorite song, although I didn't see it for what the song really was referring to. I just thought, delight in the afternoon, having fun. So back then, that's probably more, obviously I was into the AM radio stuff because back then, if you guys remember, FM was a wasteland. I remember sitting in my room at Pease Air Force Base where my family was stationed in New Hampshire with one of them little transistor radios with the one little earbud that you got like if you subscribed to like Reader's Digest, listening to WHEB in Portsmouth and just all those songs from 77, 78, Grease, all that stuff, the disco stuff would just roll across your ears. So after that, I was more into Kiss for a long time. Then I got into MTV stuff and then harder rock. So I'm not surprised they escaped me, but I wish that I had definitely known about them. Besides by name and when they came out with Owner of a Lonely Heart, this guy's voice is just crazy good. It's an iconic voice to me. There's nobody like him that I've heard. It's just insane. It just matches perfectly, and everything here, it just goes along. Even the little keyboard parts it's awesome. All the young fellas. Magical. I gotta stop once more. The harmonies in this are insane. It's just like maybe an octave apart or so. Everybody, it just, wow. And look at those banks of keyboards. I mean, if you look at the keyboards now, it's just so different. all the knobs that he had to turn to get those sounds. It's just crazy. You know, I think one of the bigger keyboard players for me was the keyboardist. He's Nick Rhodes and Duran Duran. Always such an intricate part of Duran Duran's sound, of course, coming out of the 80s. But Duran Duran is still relevant today, as is Yes, in my opinion. I think they're awesome. I mean, I've only heard, well, this is the third one, I think, right? So for me, it's just going to be a journey of discovery. Um, it's just so cool, thinking what they're doing here. This has obviously got to be the 70s. It just it blows my mind when I think of what they could do back then. Now it's digital, everybody does it all that way. So it wasn't an issue to really, layer things and new tracks, but they can do it with digital. They don't even have to replay it if they don't want to. However, here, the work that goes into Yes's music is just crazy, guys. If you were to actually peel apart this song, you would just be shocked at the number of parts there are in this song. Just because it seems like you hear, say, 2 guitar parts, that's usually not the case. There's many more. I mean, look at the Eagles' Hotel California, which I would never ever do a reaction to. Don Henley will, if his management team sees that, they yank it right down and give you a strike. No warning, no chance to take it down. I love Don Henley, but he is just not in the times. Reactors are the free promotional tools now. You know what I mean? So, wow. And actually, the Love Will Find a Way, the original video, got blocked, but I disputed it, and I won. I can't monetize it, which I don't care about. But it was such a cool video. I just wanted it to be out there. It was just like, that was my first reaction. I absolutely love that song. So far, it's my favorite, but only 3 tracks. But we got a long way to go with Yes, guys. Killer lyrics too. What a great sound. Oh man, that solo is badassery right there, guys. I'm just thinking to myself, what if that had distortion? And it was a fleeting thought because it would just sound tacky in that composition that they did. Wow. Yes, it's like ogres, right? Because ogres have layers like onions, you remember in Shrek? Wow. Peel back those layers, guys, and take apart that. You'll find so many parts in there, your mind will be blown. Beautiful lyrics. 10 out of 10, easy. Stuff like this. It's making me fall in love with Yes for sure. And somebody told me one of their albums, has 3 tracks. That's crazy. And people also told me, which I didn't think of until they told me, that the reason I probably didn't hear so much Yes was simply because their tracks were long, and radios back then, they wanted 2 to 3 minutes. They didn't want to play long tunes. That came much later on because, I don't know, radio stations just didn't want to do it. I don't remember the first one. I know Hotel California is pretty long, and that got tons of radio airplay. So it must have been around 1976 when Hotel California came out that they started letting, longer tracks be on the radio. Anyway, guys, it's Yes, fear not. I will be back with more. I have a bunch of requests in my comments. I have not ignored you. I don't answer comments until I get to the reaction. I'll say it's done, or if it's just a comment, not with a request, I'll if I don't have time, guys, I'll thumbs up. Because I'm probably 2 years behind on that stuff, just trying to answer comments because there's so many. But sometimes I spend a few hours just trying to go through them and let you know that I appreciate you. Anyway, guys, don't forget to subscribe and like and hit the notification bell, and we'll see you next time.